see what I once was. If you could go with me back to where I started from, then I know you would see the miracle of love that took me in its sweet embrace and made me what I am today, just an old sinner saved by grace.
Well, hello, my fellow Americans and fellow Christians, and thank you for joining me for one more day of the Word of the Lord here in the United States of America. Today, what I'd like to talk about is a possible darkness upon the land that you and I are not even aware of. But it has raised its head just recently in the chambers of the American Senate. And what we need to do is we need to approach this today, and I think about it, because it's very possible that this is a sign of a darkness that may be coming upon us, and that maybe our children will inherit unless we take care of this today. Let me point out to you something in the scriptures here in Exodus chapter 10, I believe it's verse 21, and this is concerning the 9th plague that came upon the Egyptians when the Lord had asked Moses to go and talk to Pharaoh to release the children of Israel out of Egypt. And this is the 9th plague that came upon the Egyptians, and it's a plague of darkness. And this is what the scripture says. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand towards the sky, that over the land of Egypt there may be such intense darkness that one can feel it." That's pretty powerful. And so Moses stretched out his hand towards the sky, and there was intense darkness throughout the land of Egypt for 3 days. Men could not see one another, and nor could they move from where they were for 3 days. But all the Israelites had light where they dwelt. The power of the Lord is very intense. And the words of the Lord are effective when they are totally listened to. Many men today do not want to listen to the word of the Lord. Many men today do not want to fear the Lord. This darkness that had come upon the Egyptians is very frightening when you think about it. Can you imagine just an intense darkness that when you were walking you could actually feel it as if a wind is there? And that you cannot see your hand before your face, or you could not do anything? That you could barely walk? And that you could not really move from where you were? Maybe a suggestion, you couldn't go from a house to a house. Maybe you couldn't even walk to your front door. Who knows? The Lord is almighty and all-powerful. Now the suggestion here is, it says that they could not see one another. I want to take that for a minute here and talk about the United States of America. That there is a possible sign of a darkness upon us, and we are unable to see one another. The recent outburst within the chambers of the United States Senate, when the President was speaking by a representative, is a sign of social and civil unrest in this country. In psychology, there is a suggestion that when there is something being harbored in the heart, like resentment, or an evil, or some kind of judgment that you feel towards somebody, that somehow the words make their way to your tongue and you speak it out. This is what is happening today immensely throughout this land, and we are not seeing one another. We are not seeing the darkness possibly upon us. We have the home, we have education, we have business, we have the government. In every area there is civil unrest. Right now there's civil unrest between the parents and the children. Right now there's civil unrest in the education curriculum on how one is educated between the student and the teacher, or between the student or the curriculum and the others involved. Then there's the business sector, where there's the co-worker and the manager or the supervisor, where there's intense discrimination, or there may be some kind of harassment. And then you get into the government, where there seems to be much civil unrest. And the news media has relished upon this in many ways by giving men the authority to speak and maybe even incite indifference in the land. This is something that is a detriment to us here in the United States of America. Ours is the most talkative age. But silence, in many ways, is wise. If one is silent one day concerning an issue, he may be more wise the next day to answer it. And ours being the most talkative age, from the cell phone to the computer to the telephone, it is as if you do not do these things, you are not part of the American system. You are not part of the American social order. Unless you are talkative, unless you're texting within the next 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, there's something wrong with you. You're not part of the American way of life. But wisdom says many things should be left unsaid. And men do not have time to reflect upon themselves and what is happening in their lives if they are this busy. And wisdom cannot find itself a door, for it's closed because of the talkativeness, because men do not listen. The civil unrest that was incited basically by this representative in the sacred chambers of the United States of America is something that is beginning to spill throughout the entire land. It is a sign of a darkness that's possibly upon us, and we are not seeing one another and seeing what we are doing to ourselves concerning this. Those chambers are considered sacred. And the idea is this, is silence in those chambers gives the respect and the reverence not to the President of the United States. It gives respect and reverence to the Constitution, to American politics, and the American way in civil life. When men begin to outburst in such manners, and if it begins to escalate, it is inciting indifference towards the American way of life. It is inciting civil unrest, and we need to stop this today. It needs to go no further. The wisdom that we need today are men that are listeners, not talkers. Men who have great ideas that can change the course of the nation. Men who have great ideas that can help the family, that can help the business sector, that can help education, that can help our government and help our country. Let us all today reflect upon who we are in this country. I am not going to talk about Christians in this land. Everyone in this land, from what I can gather, has somehow, some way, either been approached concerning the gospel. You either believe in God or you don't. But either way, our freedom is at stake, and darkness shall come upon this land if we don't stop the civil unrest today. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.